get through this. Toronto gets blown out by Boston.
Yeah.
In the game 1. And then Denver forces a game 7.
I told you guys 2 weeks ago.
Clippers close out the Mavericks. And tonight you got 2 games, Hunter, actually.
Yeah, you got the first game of the second round, but you have what should be, what could be the last game of the first round.
That's just game 6. And they've already.
I know.
And they've already played.
I know.
Every other series is over.
Every other series is over except for Houston and Oklahoma City and Denver and Utah.
So Denver and Utah will play game 7 tomorrow, and the Celtics will be playing game 2, unless they take a day off.
I don't know. It's all messed up now.
We'll look at the schedule.
It's all messed up now because what people don't realize, too, is Miami has had the longest rest out of any of these teams.
Yeah, tomorrow is Celtics. Raptors.
They swept theirs and just sat there the whole time. Didn't even have a game coming up where they sat out. They just sit there.
How about the East going 16-1 in the first round?
That just means everybody else was
horrible.
horrible.
And the 1 seed lost.
That means every other team they were playing were horrible outside of the top seeds.
We knew that. No, we knew that. And the Hornets still couldn't make the playoffs.
No.
And we knew that
Washington had a chance to get in and lost their way out of it. That just shows you how bad it is. Outside of your top 4. Actually, hold on. Who was the higher seed? Was Miami the higher seed or was Indiana the higher seed?
Indiana was the higher seed.
Well, I mean, I had Miami winning anyways, but okay.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter still. They got swept.
Yeah.
They got swept.
3 sweeps and a gentleman's sweep in the East. So Jazz-Nuggetts tomorrow night.
That's the Magic have done that before. All right, they took game 1 against Toronto last year, then they got reverse swept.
All right, you like Jimmy Butler? What about tonight? Can they beat the Bucks? They're 5.5 as Bucks is how much they're favored by, if you were wondering.
If you look at the rosters, I think Miami's got more talent. Mm-hmm. I think Milwaukee's better defensively, and they have, to me, MVP Giannis. I don't know, man. It's tough because is it going to shock me if the Bucks lose this game? No, because the Bucks.
I'm talking about series.
Oh, the series.
Yeah, I don't care about one game.
No,
can the Bucks upset the Bucks?
No, Heat don't win the series. They might upset the Bucks tonight only because they're so rested.
Okay.
The Bucks might also still be emotionally high right now. Their emotions might still be all over the place, unless they've got it dialed in. But I'm gonna take tonight the Bucks. I think that they can win it, and I think they will make the Eastern Conference Finals.
All right,
but it's not going to surprise me if the Miami Heat win today.
How many the Heat gonna win then? 1,
I think
2?
the Heat could win 2. I think it goes 6.
What about Toronto and Boston? What happened there?
No, I said it. I think Boston just player for players got better players all over the board. I could see it going 5. I think Toronto gets 1. They cannot afford for Fred VanVleet going into the third quarter to only have like 3 points.
I was gonna let me back up on that one. I do want to. I'm glad you said that. I looked at it, looking at their box score. I'm pretty good at looking at box scores and being like, well, that's why you lost.
I mean, they were down by 20 almost every quarter I was watching.
Yeah, I'll tell you why they lost. As soon as I remember which one it was. Tatum, Kemba, and Brown, they're going to get their 60. Right?
Easy. I'll give them 75 because Jason Tatum, can get 30.
They only got
30, 35.
They only got 50-something. 30, 40. 56. You can't give up 21 to Marcus Smart,
which won't happen more often.
That's what I'm saying. So look at this game, Hunter. How often does Marcus Smart get 21 points?
Not very often. He can get you 11.
He was 5 of 9 from 3. How many games he hit 5 threes?
I'm pretty sure everybody for the Celtics was hot from 3.
They were
pretty sure everybody was. Like Toronto just said, "All right, you're taking the 3. You can have the 3."
They were 17 of 39 from 3, 43%.
That's decent.
So here's your.
I mean, it's not Jamal Murray hot, but that's decent.
Well, they made 7 more threes. They shot the same number of threes as Toronto,
but made 7 of them.
So you want to know where
there's
the game
20
is?
points. There's your 21.
You lost by 18.
Yeah. There's your 21.
So you got outshot in the 3-point line. Hunter, how many games is Pascal Siakam going to get 13 points?
I could see him getting it one more time.
How many games a New Bay only going to get 12?
I could see him getting it one more time.
Lowry 17. That's a decent 17 and 8.
No, Lowry did his job.
That's regular.
Kyle Lowry did his job.
Gasol
Nobody else
only got
showed up.
7.
Nobody else showed up.
Van Vliet was 2 for 11 from 3-point range.
Doesn't happen.
2 for
Doesn't
11.
happen. But I would just say this. Siakam, to me, he's on the rise, but he's not quite the man yet. He's on the rise, but he's not quite the man yet. Van Vliet, he showed up when he needed to last year. I don't know if that helped maybe with Kawhi being there. I just look at that roster, and I comparatively look at them back and forth, and I just think the Celtics, this is have too much.
Well, just listen to here's.
And I love Nick Nurse, and I think Nick Nurse is the better coach than Brad Stevens between the Raptors and the Celtics. But someone made a very good point. I can't remember what analyst it was. He says, in college, coaching matters. In the NBA, talent matters.
Well, what is Smart average? I mean, just what is he average?
Marcus Smart probably averages like 11 to 12.
So, I mean, he got 21. Let's say he gets 15. Let's take 5 off that. That's 107. Okay? Then look down the list. Toronto went 10 of 40 from 3-point range.
I don't understand why people are shooting 43-pointers a game anyway.
If you're
But that's
missing-
besides me.
But they
That's not up to me.
They were 21 of 44 from 2 and 10 of 40 from 3. Let's say they hit 5 more threes, Hunter. There's your 15.
It's a ball game.
I think the Raptors had a terrible night shooting, and the Celtics hit their shots, and Marcus Smart played, and Kyle Lowry didn't. So that's your game. If this was now, I will say this. If this was in a regular series where you go home away, I would say I'd just toss this one up. Game 1, it's 1-0. Like, no. But being in a
You got to get yourself up.
being in a neutral situation,
You got to get yourself
what
up.
I'm saying is that you can. I will lean towards you a little bit and give you this on this. Is that being in a neutral situation, you can possibly worry a little bit that it's not a home situation. Like you just said, you got to get yourself up, and then if you're in neutral and your team, your fans ain't helping you, got to do something.
Because even then, like the bench can only get you so up when they're sitting there clapping until they look up at the scoreboard and say, "Oh shit, we're down 20," and then they're like, "When are we going?" Because this is what a lot of people really don't want to admit, and they don't want to play into this. But Paul George basically come out and said it, and De'Aaron Fox said the same thing when he was on the Herd the other day. It was like, "Look, the bubble wears on people, like it does. It's just wearing on people mentally." So. Who are you to try and tell these? I know they're professionals, and I know it's still a playoff setting, so they should always be up. But do you know it obviously can't be easy for Kyle Lowry, Siakam, and all those guys that are on the bench trying to get their guys up to look up and say, "Damn, we're down 22, and it's the third quarter."
To me, I kind of made a lot of this Saturday. Like, again, you're getting paid millions of dollars to play kids game. And all you got to do is be away from your families for a month or two. And then you turn around, and I know this kind of ain't got nothing to do with it, kind of does. And you turn around and we're kneeling during the national anthem. Those military members can't just come home whenever they want to. They just can't, today I'm going to kneel while you guys go out and fight. Mm-hmm. And so it's going to go over a lot of people's heads. Like, so you're telling me that you don't want to play or don't want to be there because your friends or family and people sacrifice that all the time in this country for way less money and way less recognition. Talking about George Hill. He don't even want to be there, Hunter. With him on this Bucks team, who else on that team agrees with George Hill? Mm-hmm. Is this a possible situation where this could bring down the Bucks as opposed to an actual basketball would be
that's what I
infighting
meant.
and not wanting to play?
That's kind of like what I meant whenever we first talked about what we think about the Bucks and Heat. I said, depends on how the Bucks are emotionally.
Yeah.
They came out and had a huge final game against Miami or against Orlando. That's what they needed to do to put them away. Emotionally, where are they still at? Are they on an emotional high right now where their mind is on everything else other than basketball? Because if that's the case, I can tell you who's locked in, and it's not because he doesn't care about the movement, but it's Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Now, Jimmy Butler's locked in every game.
Yeah.
I think Giannis is going to be locked in every game just because it's Giannis, and he really loves to play, and he's trying to prove everybody that he can win a championship for Milwaukee. But the problem is everybody else around him. Like you said, George Hill's already said multiple times he just doesn't want to be there. And I think we said it Saturday whenever we heard that. I was like, well, guess what? Don't be there. Like, you don't have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of guys opted out.
But they want that money, just like the other day when they were going to quit. And then the NBA told them you would lose 25% of your salary.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, we'll be there tomorrow. Like, again, these guys talk about all they want to do is ball, Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
All they ever want to do is ball. All they ever want to do is play basketball for the love of the game. And then all of a sudden, it's not for the love of the game.
That paycheck really gonna help.
That it's for the paycheck. It's for China. It's for whatever reason that an NBA player gets to play, and a lot of it isn't for the love of the game. And you know, that's fine if you don't. That's fine. But you know, just be honest.
I think emotions could play a part in this Milwaukee
if they
Heat
get beat
series.
Tonight, if they get beat in game one.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying it's over, but I'm saying the Heat are going to eat. They're going to feed off of it because that's blood in the water to Jimmy Butler, and he's going to get his team rallied around him. He's going to say, "Hey, look, guys. I mean, we can do this.
You don't think
we can really do this?"
Are going to point at George Hill on the court and say he don't want to be here.
I mean, I would attack him
every time he misses a shot.
I would
every time
attack
he does
him.
anything, they're going to say he don't want to be here.
I would attack him the whole night. I would attack him the whole night, and not over just his not his stance. I'm talking like if I'm on offense and I see him and he's there, I'm blowing past him.
He got Iguodala.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
They got Iguodala.
They got Goran Dragic, Duncan Robinson. Is that the only white backcourt in the NBA?
Yeah, and Duncan Robinson can shoot the lights out too, and Harrow.
Jimmy Butler at the three. Derrick
Harrow's
Jones,
so good too. I mean, they're underrated.
Adebayo, Iguodala, Jay Crowder, Kelly Olynyk.
Only thing is last time that they played the Bucks, they got beat by 14.
Okay.
So, but this is a different.
I just don't
now.
think anybody in the East has got a squad, and there is no home court advantage.
It's different. And then you know when we look at the Boston versus the Toronto thing now, and to me that's just a numbers game. I just think the numbers for Boston it's just their depth. On the offensive side of the ball is what's going to be the key factor in this. I know that they're not always going to have off nights by Siakam, and they're not always going to have Fred VanVleet going like 2 for 11 from the 3-point line.
11.
So, but offensively, Jaylen Brown's going to get his, Kemba's going to get his, Jason Tatum's going to get his, and all they got to do is ask for maybe one more person to get 15, and he got them. Like, guys, seriously. Yeah. I mean, and you said, and they listen, and they. I know that Toronto played bad, but you even said overall, you want those three guys to get 70 to 75. Mm-hmm. I mean, they only got what 56 last night, and look at them as a team. You mean even if they get 65 tomorrow, that makes up for whoever maybe doesn't show up that night.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think the numbers game is what's going to be so tough for the Toronto and Boston series. I just seriously, and you know, and this might be crazy. Have you watched Jason Tatum play any?
Yeah.
Do you know who his game reminds me of?
Oh, it ain't Kobe Bryant.
My God, it's Kobe Bryant. I'm not saying he is Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
But in his game, there's a lot of Kobe Bryant. There is a lot of Kobe Bryant. Now, people will be like, well, Hunter, he used to work out with Kobe. Well, Kobe probably worked out with a lot of guys, but they didn't try to mimic him.
I don't have much to say nice about anybody that played at Duke, so.
I mean, I don't like the fact that he played at Duke either, but I'll give credit where I see it, and I see a lot. Like,
he's pretty good.
Like, when he backs somebody down in the post and gives him the little shimmy with the fadeaway shot, I said, that's Kobe. He did it the other night in the first round, and I literally looked at my mom and said, that was Kobe. That was Kobe. Like, it might have not looked as pure as Kobe. Yeah. I said, but you look at this young man, Kobe's fingerprint is right on him. It's right on him.
All right, so we talked
just like you could look at Kobe and say Michael's fingerprint was right on him.
9 teams in the American League. Going over to baseball real quick. News and notes on that.
Baseball. You don't want to comment about Denver and Utah's crazy game?
All right, real quick.
Last night.
I forgot about that.
Rewind.
Sorry,
Rewind.
We will not be talking.
Back to the NBA. We'll go back to the MLB in a minute, but that was wild. This series is wild.
I'm just waiting for
the release of Bobo.
The Nuggets to get beat and them to release Bobo. If they're not going to play him, why is he on their team? And the Hornets pick him up.
Listen.
And then I'll buy a jersey And I'll be at every game.
I said this when the series was getting ready to start. This team will go as Jamal Murray goes. I said Jamal Murray is the X factor for the Denver Nuggets. I know what Jokic can do. A buddy of mine that I had drinks with when the series first started, he said, "Yeah, well, when the game comes down to the end of to the line, who do you want taking the last shot?" I said Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is finally getting the recognition that he deserves for Denver. He's dropped 2 50-point games in this series. That doesn't just happen all the time. But what I've been most impressed with is the battle between him and Donovan Mitchell. How great is Donovan Mitchell for Utah? I don't know. I didn't think Utah really stood a chance in this series when I saw that Bogdanovich was out, and I didn't know how long they were going to force Mike Conley to be on his little quarantine when he left to see his son be born. I don't know. Their offense just seems to have clicked now. I guess it was one of the things where they were like during the little 8 games they had to play, they were like, "Look, we're already in. We're not really going to
It's Mitchell or Murray
give full effort
in this series."
Oh, that's exactly what it is. One has to outplay the other.
It's what it is. Everybody else.
It's a game of horse, and everybody else is just there.
Yeah,
you got to just match each other.
Both teams got some god awful people that's playing tons of minutes, and you just like, what are they doing? For example, the Nuggets had 2 starters last night combined for 10 points in 68 minutes.
Oof.
Not Nuggets. That was the Jazz. The Nuggets had a starter get for 5, like the other guy, like they did.
Paul Millsap.
Yep.
What is he doing there?
He got 5. You should have known that.
Yeah.
Here's the Nuggets bench last night, Hunter.
12
minutes, 0 points. 28 minutes, 2 points. 22 minutes, 8 points. 21 minutes, 4 points.
I'll say this. Why? I said this the other day. Michael Porter Jr. is getting 28 points off the bench.
28 minutes.
Yeah, 28 minutes.
He got 2 points.
He got 2 points.
Listen,
but I'm saying this.
Wait. He got 2 points last night. He was plus 21.
I know he was. But what I'm saying is so he's getting 28 minutes. Craig is getting 22 minutes, and Gary Harris got 21 minutes, who has been injured.
Yeah, I expect more than 4 points from Gary Harris.
All off the bench, and then I'm looking here, and you're having Paul Millsap coming in there starting and only playing him 19 minutes. Rotationally, what the hell are you doing? If you're letting Michael Porter Jr. come off the bench and play 28 minutes, why would you not just start him? Why would you not? Situationally, does he just not fit with your starters?
I don't get
him
it.
And Millsap can play the same position. Like, you just flip-flop. I don't understand. Maybe Porter Jr. will score more than 2 if you let him start and get in a rhythm from the get-go. I don't know. That's just me. I'm not the coach.
Well, if you're asking for the coach of the Nuggets to make any sense of anything, Hunter, it's not going to happen. Here's
like, that's too much talent for them to take this first round series to a game 7.
Here's your examples of the insanity. All right, so if you say, I don't think Bol could, if he's going to not play defense, all right?
Yeah.
If that's the case,
right?
For the Jazz, their starting small forward played 38 minutes and had 5 points. Is that guy gonna blow Bol off the court?
O'Neal, Joe Ingles.
I was about to say Hunter, 100% honesty.
Yeah.
Can Bol not guard Joe Ingles?
Oh my God, yeah. Joe Ingles stands out there at the perimeter. That's it.
Every minute that Joe Ingles goes out there, and he got 30 last night, I would stick Bol out there and say, guard Joe. Just stand there, like
30
you said.
minutes.
And Joe's going to have to get a shot over him.
Yeah.
So it's not even that Joe's a threat. It's that Joe gets 30 minutes a game.
I'll tell you what, you singing praise about Jamal Murray. I mean, ESPN, even though I don't like them, they put out a pretty cool stat. Only players in postseason history with 3 straight 40-point, 5-rebound, 5-assist games. Jamal Murray, Michael Jordan.
That's a random-ass stat.
Isn't it? But ESPN is the king of that.
Yes, they
are. On
are.
this date, 2 years ago, such and such did such and such. That was the first time that they've done that since such and such did.
First time since.
Yeah.